Are you getting your house ready, or are you just curious about getting your house ready to sell in Calabasas? Here's a broad perspective as to what that looks like. I'm Kevin Goldman, the chef realtor, born and raised in Calabasas. First, really establish the why you want to move, so that way you can really prepare for what happens next. Establishing why you want to move, why you want to sell, is probably the most valuable thing. Oh, we need more space. We need to get out from under this upside down mortgage that we're dealing with right now. We can't afford our payments. You know, my husband just lost his job, my wife going through health issues, and there's just, we have bills that we can't afford to pay. God forbid anyone is dealing with that. There's different whys for every single seller. Think about what realtor, not just realtor, what person do I want to work with? Who do I feel I can build the most trusting relationship with? And who can I really trust to represent us and protect us? The trust doesn't come from just working with someone who sells 100 houses a year, because at that point you could just potentially become a number and pawned off to someone else who's not as involved in the process and isn't the name on the sign that you're hiring. After you decide who you're going to list your house with, you kind of have to talk about listing price. Do you have a mortgage? How much are your payments? What's your interest rate? Do you have to go non-QM? Do you have to go bank statement only? Can you not qualify? Do you need to go hard money and put 30-40% down? Can you afford to put 30-40% down? It's all these different things and conversations to talk about. If you need some guidance and some help in trying to find a realtor, ask your friends and family. If they've transacted recently in the last year or two, chances are that realtor is still in the market, still works in the area. And if they had a really good relationship with them, there's nothing more complimentary to an agent or anyone in sales than referrals. The next step in listing your house is getting it show ready, getting it picture and video ready, depersonalizing, decluttering especially. So many people have pictures of their family and their travel experiences and tapestries and plants everywhere. You want it to look like someone lives there, but you want to kind of depersonalize it. You don't want to interfere with the sight lines in the house. You don't want to interfere with means of egress and egress, entry and exit in layman's terms. You want to make sure that, all of the little tiny scuffs on the wall are taken care of, because any buyer that comes in, they don't take care of the house because there's a scratch or there's a chip in the paint. One of my really good friends, Lila, she's an interior designer, and we were talking about real estate, and she said that one of her biggest pet peeves is mismatching light bulbs. Not necessarily the brightness, but the color, the hue. If you have soft light in one side of the room and then there's light bulbs that are white, bright, like what's going on here? It's just small little details like that go a really long way. After that, you might want to take a look at the outside landscape. Is the grass dead? Is the foliage not trimmed? Do you need an arborist? Are tree branches growing into the rain gutters? Are there any issues with the drainage? Is the pool dirty? Is the pool equipment functioning correctly? Does the pool need to be shocked? When you have an open house, people are going to walk around and they're going to look to see if you have kept the house up. After getting it show ready, we're going to start moving into the next phase of getting it actually ready to show. Taking pictures, creating content, but really to showcase the property and the areas throughout the home, different angles, uses of the actual property. We call it lifestyle photos. We're going to try and AD the shit out of it, make it look like it belongs to Architectural Digest. We upload everything onto the MLS. It then aggregates to all the different Zillows and Redfins and Trulias and all the different websites that will populate the listing. Hopefully within minutes. Sometimes it takes a day or two. Then we market when we're going to be hitting the market. We invite the neighbors for a neighbor's open house. I'll have some drinks, some food. Usually do like a nice big grazing table, cheese, charcuterie, some wine, maybe some liquor. You'll have some fresh focaccia. Then realtors and whoever else that I've invited, or any other neighbors that are driving through, see them, we're having a little party, they come through. And that's the very first open house that we'll do. And then we go straight into open houses the very next day. We'll host those 2, 3, 4 hours, whatever it really takes. As calls come in for showing requests, we field those. The house is vacant and staged, or vacant and nothing in there, it's super easy to show. And then hopefully within a very timely manner, hopefully in less than 30 days on market, then we talk to the agent, build that relationship with them, get them to submit that offer. And if it's nowhere close, or if it's in the ballpark based on what my client's needs are, we accept the offer or we counter it. If we accept the offer, we open escrow. Hopefully within the next 12 to 24 hours, we can even open it that day. And then we go through all of the contingencies. Do they have a loan? Are they all cash? How fast can they close close if they're all cash? Is it a week? Do they need to inspect the property, or are they just going to demolish it? If there is a loan and they're getting investigations, there's the negotiation of the price, and then there's negotiations during the investigatory period. Usually, as a listing agent, I will advise my clients never to actually do the work, because then we take on that responsibility of performing the work to the quality that the buyer and their contractor would expect. Honestly, it opens us up to potential litigation. So we normally try to negotiate it as a credit towards closing costs or a purchase price reduction if the work being requested exceeds the price of closing costs. With that, the house is sold, hopefully for over asking or at asking price. And that's just a broad overhead perspective in terms of what it takes to get your house ready to sell and going through the whole process. There's different nuances to every single process. Needs, the whys are going to be different, but that's the typical boilerplate, very overhead, broad point of view process.